So keyword research can be broken down into two main methods of doing it, right? So we have the free way and we have the paid way. Okay, so I know you guys might be very inclined to look at free tools. I was definitely very inclined when I was starting out. And yes, they will work for the basic stuff. We're gonna cover all of that in a second. But if you're serious about SEO, and if you can afford to pay for an SEO tool, I really recommend investing it. It's gonna speed up your learning. It's gonna speed up all your processes. I'm gonna show you guys exactly how in a second. So let's talk about the free keyword research tools you can use. Okay, we're gonna start off with the Google Keyword Planner. This is a tool inside the Google Ads platform, right? So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to sign up to Google Ads. You're gonna have to input a credit card and then just pause the campaign so it actually doesn't run anything. I'm not gonna spend any money here. I've basically created a fake Google Ads campaign just to have access to the Google Keyword Planner to show you guys how this works. Okay, so again, I've created this random Google Ads campaign. I said yes to absolutely everything. I input my credit card, and then as soon as I came here, so I went to all campaigns and I paused my campaign, right? So that's really important. I'm not gonna get charged, and now I can show you guys how to use this. Once we're inside Google Ads, what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch to expert mode, right? So if you are already in expert mode, that's good. Most of the time for new Google Ads accounts, they're gonna give you this like play, I don't know if this is like a child mode or whatever it is. So we're gonna switch to expert mode. Yes, we're gonna say yes, switch to expert mode. And now we're gonna get a lot more data, a lot more access to some tools inside of the Google Ads platform. And what we have up here, we have this tools and settings, and we're gonna go to planning. We're gonna go to Keyword Planner, right? So this is the tool that a lot of marketers use inside of Google Ads to discover new keywords, talk about search volume and forecasts, all of that. So I'm gonna click discover new keywords, and I'm just gonna type in vegan brownie recipe. I'm gonna select English, and I'm gonna change the location to United States, target. I'm gonna get rid of Spain here, and I'm gonna get results. So what do we see here? We have a bunch of things. I'm just gonna quickly X out of this. The most important thing that we're looking for when we're doing keyword research is we wanna know the actual keyword itself. We wanna know how much volume it has and how competitive it is, right? And if we have the extra info of who's ranking and what type of content they have, then that's a huge bonus. Now, I think this is a phenomenal place to start because it's gonna give us an idea of how keyword research works, right? So I've typed in vegan brownie recipe, and now I'm getting all these suggestions given to me directly by Google, right? So over here on the right, we have the average monthly searches. We have 1,000 to 10,000 searches, 10K to 100K. And this is why this tool is so limited, right? Because we're getting a massive range of possible monthly searches, and this doesn't really help us that much, right? We'd like to know if there's 1,000 or if there's 10,000 monthly searches. Those are two completely different keywords, two completely different sizes, and two completely different types of competition for that keyword. We see the 3-month change, year-over-year change. So has the volume for that keyword fluctuated up or down? What about the competition, right? So this is another thing where the Google Ads keyword tool kind of lacks in its quality of data. So all we have is low, right? So we're not actually getting a specific number and why it's so low and the competitors and all of that. Then we have these two metrics that are more specific to Google Ads. We don't need to talk about that right now. But if we're starting out and if we want to get some info directly from Google, this is a great starting point, right? There's actually a lot of keywords that Google is recommending here, a bunch of different pages here. The only problem is the accuracy of this data. Google doesn't want to be super accurate. So that's a bit of a bummer. So that's why I recommend using other tools. Now, let's check out Google Autosuggest. This is just a tool directly inside of Google. So if I type in vegan brownie recipes, what we're going to see here is the auto suggest feature inside of Google, right? So we're gonna see Easy UK with applesauce from scratch, BBC coconut oil, minimalist baker, right? So now we're getting a bunch of different ideas of these keywords. What other variations of these keywords could we find, right? We also do want to take a look at some of the results. Those results are already gonna have a bunch of work done on them, right? So best fudgy vegan brownies, easy brownie recipe, right? So we're also gonna take a look at the people also ask. These are definitely relevant. And then at the bottom, we're also going to see some more auto-suggest features, vegan brownie recipe, minimalist baker, healthy vegan brownie. So that's a different variation that we haven't seen yet. No flax. So these are some easy ways, some free ways of just getting some basic ideas relating to that main keyword that we typed in. Now let's talk about another free tool. There's this thing called Keyword Sheeter, and what this does is it basically collects and it scrapes all of these auto suggest keywords and it piles it into one place. So let's type in again, vegan brownie recipe. I'm gonna sheet keyword, and what we're gonna see is a bunch of different keywords, a lot of keywords. So this thing is just gonna keep going till I tell it to stop. I'm gonna tell it to stop right now. And look at what we get, right? So we get a huge list of keywords, and this is good if we're in the idea phase, right? If we're just trying to figure out, okay, should I do this keyword? What type of other keywords exist? But we don't really get a lot of detailed data with this specific tool, right? It's a great start to start thinking about some possible ideas for keyword research. There's a couple more free tools that I think are really cool. So let's do Surfer SEO Chrome extension. This is a really cool one by our friends over at Surfer. And if I add this to Chrome with you guys right here, you're gonna see exactly what happened. So I've added it, that was pretty quick. And if I type in vegan brownie recipe, we are now gonna see this little volume right here, right? So this is the estimated search volume given to us by Surfer. So we're seeing around 6,600 searches a month. This is the cost per click. So again, this is a Google Ads metric that's basically telling us how expensive is that click if it were to come up in an ad, right? So people are willing to pay up to $3 basically for this click. So it is a slightly competitive keyword. We also get some keyword ideas here on the right. So this is pretty cool. This is completely free. And then we get a couple of links that takes us to that Surfer internal tool, right? So this is another great start. We do have some more metrics here. We have volume, we have similarity, we have the CPC as well. So that's interesting. And that gives us a bit more in-depth info. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is Answer the Public. So I use this quite often just for ideation of keywords, right? So if I type in vegan brownie, wow, is that Neil Patel there? What's going on right now? Oh, it's by Ubersuggest. That's interesting. Vegan brownie recipe. So if we type this in, we click on the data tab here, we're gonna have things in a much more orderly manner. We're gonna get a bunch of different sections and types of phrases and questions related to the keyword that we typed in. So right now we're seeing 27 questions. So are brownies vegan friendly? Are brownies vegan brownies gluten-free? So these are definitely keywords that we can add to that content if we were doing keyword research. Prepositions, so can, for, so vegan brownie recipe with cocoa powder, with coconut oil, with banana, all of this, right? Comparisons. It looks like some of these are messed up, but vegan recipe, loving it vegan brownie recipe, hot for food from scratch. So we're getting all these different suggestions, and this is also a great place to start if we wanted to use free tools. Again, I use this quite often just for ideation at the start of keyword research, right? So those are my top 5 free SEO tools. There's definitely more options out there available. If you're interested in other free key research tools, definitely do your own research. Out of all the ones I've tried, these are the 5 that have worked the best for me. However, guys, if we really want to do meaningful, solid keyword research, again, we ideally want to know 3 main things. We want to know how many people are searching for that keyword. So we want to know the search volume. That's absolutely basic. We want to know how competitive it is. So we want to have a score that tells us how easy is it for us to create a landing page and to rank for that keyword in the next few months, right? And then third, I want to know who my competitors are and what type of content they're producing. And now, unfortunately, most free keyword research tools just won't give us that because it doesn't make any business sense for a company to give out all that data for free. Free keyword research tools, as you guys saw, they can give us similar keyword ideas. They can sometimes give us the search volume, but if you want to do serious keyword research, the only way around it is to pay for a tool. Now, let's talk about the best paid tools. Number one, as you guys can imagine, I'm going to say Ahrefs. I've been using Ahrefs for years now. They're a very, very complete tool. So if you pay for Ahrefs, you don't only have access to keyword research, you have access to absolutely everything. And they have a huge tool, a lot of different features, all are very, very useful. And they're all going to help you perform on Google. There's SEMrush, which is obviously the Ahrefs competitor, massive SEO tool as well. You can definitely compare all the different features inside of Ahrefs through SEMrush. So definitely a great Ahrefs alternative, but I prefer Ahrefs over SEMrush. We then have Ubersuggest. So this is a tool bought by Neil Patel a few years ago. And basically it's a cheaper, more affordable version of both Ahrefs and SEMrush with a very similar list of features and internal tools, right? So if we just check the pricing here, we're looking at 29 euros a month for the individual. So, and that's pretty solid, right? For what we get quite detailed keyword research, we get competitor analysis, we get link building stuff, we get backlink data. So we're going to talk about all those those things later, but this is a great resource if you're starting out and if you don't want to invest a lot of money into one of these tools. There's also keywordtool.io. So these guys have been around for some time. I think they do have some free features here, but for the price of this specific tool, I would honestly recommend getting an Ahrefs or a SEMrush because you have access to so many more tools inside of Ahrefs, right? If you paid for keywordtool.io, you would only be getting the keyword research function. So there's going to be plenty more paid keyword tools out there. Again, these are the ones that I've been exposed to, that I've tried for years. And again, my favorite is Ahrefs, so I recommend you sign up with them. And this course is basically going to be exclusively all Ahrefs. So there's definitely more out there. If you guys want to do research on that, I recommend that you guys do research if you aren't happy with these specific tools. Now let's talk about how we can do keyword research inside of Ahrefs.